Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, a couple of reminders as always that I am not your financial advisor and we never provide investment advice on the channel. So if you're new, thanks for joining us. Not sure where you came from, but we're glad to have you here as part of the series. Make sure you go back to day one of the series just to kind of get the flow for how things are going to go. If you're somebody that's returning to the video series, we thank you so much for continuing to follow along and supporting the channel. So as you guys can see, got a lot of tabs open. So we're going to go ahead and go through our usual review, and then we'll head into discovery. So the first one we're going to talk about is going to be Chronofactor. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but either way, this is one that we had talked about. And if we look at the alerts here, the alert, was set at 7:42 as far as the posted alerts concerned, and we can see that this alert did trigger as it is labeled disabled. And if you're new, anytime the triggers are disabled, it just means that they went off. And so either way, this one was supposed to go trigger at 2 million as stated here, and it did. So we're sitting at 2.1, close to the all-time high. For this one, it went a bit higher. It looks like 2.3 million here, according to the price, here over on the right-hand side. But we did see some movement on this one, so just bringing this one up as part of our review to highlight that, again, another example of what we're trying to achieve through the series, and that is to spot these tokens early before they start to make, some sort of pump, on the chart. So with this particular token, I don't think it's done yet. I think that there's still some movement here. Probably going to go ahead and retrace, before they go for another leg on this one. But again, we don't know. But I'm not going to go ahead and set any new alerts on this one, but just want to highlight, at least not in this video right now, just want to highlight that there was movement from the posted market cap of 742K. We're going to close this one out and look at 51 at a dream. Now, this is a screenshot, from the video that was taken, on the 4th, which is a couple of days ago. When I was looking back on this, trying to go ahead and open up the tabs and whatnot, I think at some point, because I adjust my alerts, that I have here in this panel. I've got a bunch of them, but I do go through and, I delete stuff, all the time. So just because I have so many in there. But with that being said, I think this is one that I accidentally deleted. So I had to go back to the video to figure out, like, when did I actually, cover the market cap on this one, since it looked like there was some movement. And so we covered this one. I'll go ahead and I'll zoom in. Cover this one at 362K. And then we see we have an alert set when it went over 400,000. And then another alert for the under when it went under 300,000. So again, this one was the posted market cap for this one was 362K. You can see 361 here, over in the right hand side. So again, just wanted to highlight that because I needed you guys to have a reference point in terms of when do we actually catch this one. So, and obviously that's also good for the new people or for anybody that's been kind of spotty in terms of keeping up with the content in the series. So looking at the screenshot here, this shows you 621. It has retraced quite a bit since then. Looking at the chart, I think they're under 330 now at the time of doing the video. But this one had some movement, as well, beyond the posted market cap. So just wanted to show you 51 and a dream. So, and then we can see here, this is Clanker Wog. Okay, so this is the screenshot. We can see we're at 195, but you can also see here that they had a pretty decent spike up, so way beyond 195, but 195 is where it's currently sitting at the time that I took the screenshot. So you can see that there was some really good movement on this one. But if we look here at the chart, it's currently sitting at 170. Looking at the alerts, this was caught at 95K, so we saw this one at 95K 3 days ago. And like I said, 95K, and this is definitely, some big movement here on the chart before they retraced and came back down. And currently at the time of the screenshot was close to 200K and still sitting in the neighborhood of 200K at the time of, highlighting this one to you. So this is one, again, covered on the video a few days ago. And, obviously this one made some movement too. So I'm going to close this one out. Looking at Percy, so this is the screenshot here. You can see 910K is where we're currently at. Okay, or at least at the time that I took the screenshot, this was an Elon themed token. Okay, and this obviously is what the chart looked like at the time that I took the screenshot. All right, so if we go over to Percy here, we can see, looking at the alerts, that this one was caught at 435K. So both of the alerts did trigger, both the under and the over. So, I mean, we caught it at 435. It went under, went under 380. Not sure exactly how far under 380 it went, but either way, this one did make some movement. So currently it's sitting at 644. We can see here it's 910, so not far off, from a million. But you can also see, looking at the chart, that this, because here's a wick, right up here, this did it went over a million. So again, just more examples of what we're trying to do, through the series, which is get early positions, see the stuff early, so that if we decide to go ahead and take an entry, giving ourselves a chance, for it to go ahead and move, not a guarantee, but a chance, based on, what analysis and evaluation we're making. And we do that through the video, looking at the channel, see what's going on there, looking to buy transaction, looking at the chart. And I mentioned bubble maps, before too. It's been a minute since I've mentioned that, but that's also a good thing to always keep in mind, just to see if there's anybody, holding like massive bags, that might go ahead and give you pause as to whether you want to proceed, in the token. So, and even though, I make the disclaimer all the time, we don't encourage you to invest on this channel. We never encourage you to do that. But, again, I get that you're engaging with crypto related content and that you're probably going to invest anyway, because, this is obviously of interest to you with respect to the content that's being covered. So we're going to go ahead and close out Percy, but wanted to go ahead and show you what's going on there. ZKGPT, one we've been talking about for several days. And, obviously, when we saw it originally, we were up in this area here, and I wasn't really a big fan of that, because I don't like to go ahead and take entries, when you're essentially sitting at a chart, that's at its top, at its peak, right? And so the alerts that we set on this one, definitely an under alert, for this one, and we want to continue to retrace. And then we get over here, and I'll go ahead and I'll zoom out a bit, where we start to see a little bit of some buy pressure, still goes ahead and retraces, and then it just starts moving here. So again, we saw this one back in here, and if you decided to go ahead and watch and eventually take an entry, I went ahead and I pointed out the price action here. This went over, I believe, 3 million, almost, so this is 3.5 million. And then you can see, let's see here, what's this? Okay, so we can see that the current market cap right now is 2.8. But, like I said, it did touch up here, which is 3.5 million. And what was the original market cap when we saw this one? When we started talking about this one, it was at 326K. So obviously that is some good movement. That's a pretty decent pump right there. And another good example of, what is being covered in this series as we continue to not only review tokens that we've talked about, but go into discovery mode. And this is the kind of stuff that we're finding, So yesterday, not so much a great day, because we didn't really find, really anything that did well. But as I pointed out yesterday, we're going to have days where we find, stuff that's not really going to do that hot. And we're going to find, we're going to have other days, where stuff does well. And, there have been other examples, where found stuff early and it didn't do anything for several days. And then all of a sudden it pumps out of nowhere. So there's all kinds of stuff that goes on as far as, what we, look at during the series, and what we talk about and what we see, so you're going to have the gamut, we're going to find stuff that does well, we're going to find stuff that doesn't, but the whole idea is you want to go ahead and try to spot stuff, early, so that you can make an evaluation, set some alerts, watch the token, and then decide how you want to proceed in it. So I'm going to go ahead and close out ZKGPT, but definitely encouraging that this one's moving, from these levels, around, 330K when we found it. And the other thing I want to point out on this one, it's been holding. Like, I saw this yesterday, when it made this move, and it hasn't dumped. And what have I said many, many times throughout the course of this series? These kind of candles, they don't stay up here. Now, what do we see here? We do see that there was a sell-off, but what happened? Plenty of buy pressure that came back up, and it's still holding. So that is obviously, an encouraging, observation, that even though it might be a little tricky to go ahead and maybe, say, okay, I'll jump into this one and essentially buy the top, What's encouraging is in a lot of tokens, you see the dump, after something like this kind of candle. But this one, and there was retracement. You always expect retracement when there's a lot of buys coming into a chart, but you want to see that buy pressure. And that buy pressure also indicates, some level of conviction from the holders and the community. So just keep that in mind, as you look at tokens and as you, complete your own evaluation and analysis on anything of interest to you. All right, so we'll close this one out. And then this one being AI, I've talked about this one. This one was one that wasn't necessarily covered in terms of discovery mode on the channel, but I went ahead and I brought it to you guys' attention because I called it on my main channel, Crimson's Calls. So if you're not yet a subscriber to that channel, keep in mind I do make calls, over there. Sometimes it might be a couple of days, because I'm not just going to call anything on the main channel. I tend to go ahead and put a little bit more, riskier tokens on the X channel, but even there, I don't call there every day. So, but again, keep in mind that I do post, stuff that's in more real time, outside of, a video being uploaded to YouTube. So, but I did go ahead and let you guys know about this one when I posted it, and I posted this one under 600K. And so this one, it continued to retrace and retrace and retrace, after a previous high. And then once we get to this level, all of a sudden, for some reason, buy pressure just returns to the chart and it goes bananas. Okay, so went well over 4 million, not far off, from 5 million here. And I think right now, they're still holding like a 3 million level. We'll take a look at the chart, but or somewhere around that arena. But like I said, the chart, was looking pretty good last night. Going through this pump action that we can see represented here in this screenshot. So let's see here, and basically that pump action's right here, so we can see the retracement. It's holding this level. Now, again, it could be another situation, where it retraces for a little bit and then it just kind of shoots up out of nowhere. I don't know. But either way, their chat still remains pretty active. I've been monitoring the chat on this one. And, this one, like I said, I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing because, you got all this retracement and then all of a sudden just buy pressure comes out of nowhere. So obviously you still got people keeping an eye, on this one for better entries. So this one might go ahead and retrace a little bit more until maybe the community decides to just hold a certain level. And, then maybe it might take off again. You just don't know. But the idea is to continue to set alerts, monitor it, especially if this is, something that you may have some level of conviction on. But so far, being AI is doing really well, especially when you consider that the initial post, when I discovered this one was under 600K. All right, so that's going to go ahead and do it in regards to this one. I also want to see what the alert was here. So the alert here, I went ahead and I changed the alerts, so making you aware that this is not the initial alert that we set it for anybody that's new. It was much lower than this. But because they triggered, I went ahead and I updated the market cap or the post market cap, and it triggered again, obviously, because of what happened yesterday. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to adjust the alerts here. I'm not going to do it here in the video, but I will adjust the alerts here because right now we're sitting at 2.5. I actually think this is going to retrace a little bit more before it makes any possible moves back up. But like I said, I'll go ahead and I'll make that determination, post video. Okay, so we're going to close this one out. Here we go. And so that's going to do it in terms of review. And then we're going to now move into discovery. So give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, so looking at discovery mode now, I'm going to go ahead and go to our gear because we got all this information here that I don't need. So if you're new, I typically get rid of a bunch of this stuff, like price, transactions, volume, and makers. We keep all the time frames, and we remove liquidity as well, and then we click apply. So that changes our screen here. And we're going to go into filters, and we're going to select both Solana, Ethereum, and Base today. All right, so we're working on 3 chains today, and we don't need to select, Dex here because we got multiple chains selected. So liquidity, we're leaving that the same, and market cap, we start out with our standard 50,000. Because again, if they can't make it to 50,000, in my personal opinion, it's probably not a token I want to deal with anyway. We're going to look at a smaller market cap window. So we're going to go to 150K and let's see what we get. Pair age, we're going to go ahead and go on the newer side, so on the fresher side. So we're going to go 7 hours to 30 hours. Okay, and on the 24-hour change, we're going to do a minimum value of 10%. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 3 chains, we got 40 tokens, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you see any of these kind of tokens with a square and a question mark in it, it typically means that it's a scam. Probably going to see that it might be freezable. We're going to see that they probably don't have any socials, that kind of thing. You know, so again, this one telling us we get no socials up here. And this one, either no socials. And then even when you look at the chart is kind of odd. For 23 hours, you're not going to see a chart that looks like this. You're just not going to, not on a legitimate token. So, and then this one, you can see no activity here on the 5-minute, 1 hour, and 6 hour. That's another red flag, another easy clue that there's literally nothing going on here. It probably was a honeypot. Okay, so let's go on back up. Let's go ahead and let's take the 24-hour. Since we want to sort by the largest gains on the 24-hour window. All right, and so we're just going to go ahead and open some up. Okay, sure. Woof AI, Department of Government Efficiency. That's the department that Elon is the head of. All right, so anytime we see that Doge Department of Government Efficiency, it's always one to go ahead and possibly keep an eye on. All right, so let's see what else we got. Lemon pepper. We're just going to go ahead and open them up, since at least most of them up. Cult of Fart, sure. Blinking. I don't really know what that is. Talented Mice Band. That sounds interesting. Teakbot, sure. Let's open this one up. Trumpus Maximus. Got a ton of tabs open right now. Let's go and let's leave it there. First things first. What we're looking for. Let's go out to a 15-minute. First thing, what we're looking for, we want to see what the chart looks like, and then we also want to make sure socials are there as always, you know, so we don't get it. At minimum, we want to see a telegram, you know, so if we don't see a telegram, definitely not messing with it. And for anybody that's new, even if I see a Discord, we don't cover really Discords on this channel, so just for the sake of consistency, we want to stick with telegrams. So this one, the chart just looks really odd to me, not really a healthy looking chart to me. Doesn't matter to me that it's continuing to go up. I don't really care about that. I kind of have an idea in terms of what a healthy chart looks like, and you want to see more of a balance of buys and sells. This one doesn't have that going on. So, I mean, we get some, but like I said, this is just an odd looking chart to me. All right, so we're going to close this one out. Here, this one looks like a lot of retracement, and it still looks like, you know, the likelihood of this one continuing to go up, I'm not so sure. So we're going to leave this one alone as well. Woof, maybe a small uptrend, maybe. Let's see here more. The chart would tell us. Possible. Let's go ahead and let's see what's going on, you know, in the Telegram. All right, since they do have a Telegram on this one is a dead one, so we're going to leave this one alone. And that, unfortunately, that was I think the Department of Government Efficiency token. This one, not interested in this one. And then this one as well, I'd say no to it, just because we're also looking at 67% on the 6 hour and, you know, almost 50% on the 1 hour. Not really seeing this one coming back up, in my personal opinion. Here, you got no activity on the 5-minute, 1 hour, and 6 hours. So don't forget to go ahead and look in here, guys, you know, because this may also give you a quick idea in terms of whether it's even worthwhile to take a look at the Telegram channel. All right, so we're going to close this one out as well. This one, bottomed out chart, not really seeing much going on here. Could it be maybe the start of an uptrend? Maybe. I'm not seeing enough on this, you know, flat line here to go and be able to tell any kind of story there. And I'm seeing a lot more sell pressure than buy pressure. Gonna leave that one alone too. This one, so we're minus 50% on the 6 hour. Nothing going on in the 5-minute, and we're in the minuses here on the 1 hour. Probably not seeing much buys, you know, going on here. So this is going to be a no. And here, let's see here. This is Cult of Farts. Let's go out a little bit on the chart. Let's see what's going on. Maybe, I think this one looks like a good one to maybe look at just based on what I'm seeing on the chart. Mice Band, probably going to go ahead and leave this one alone as well. This one's bottomed out, not interested. This one as well. We're at 40%. You know, on the 6-hour, probably more sell pressure than buy pressure. Plus, we don't get a telegram, so this is a no. And then Trumpius Maximus. All right, we do get a telegram, you know, but we're minus 37% on the 6-hour. Maybe. I mean, we'll go ahead and we'll keep it open. Okay, and then let's see, what else do we have here? I don't think we looked at, no, that's not low. All right, we're going here. We're not looking at that. Okay, and here, fart stop, sure, sold. Okay. All right, so there we go. We got the rest of these open. Okay, so this one right away, we do get a telegram, but if everything checks out in the telegram, we're probably going to be looking at an under alert. This one looks like it's pretty bottomed out. This one looks like, you know, more retracement than buy pressure. No buying going on in the 5-minute and the 1 hour. That tells me right away. I have a 10-minute buy window, you know, so if there are no buys within the last 10 minutes when I enter a telegram, I don't go ahead and touch it. So, and here you can already see very quickly, no buying activity here in the 5-minute, no buying activity here in the 1 minute or in the 1 hour. So this is one that's a no for sure. Fart stop, you know, we got minus 77%, you know, on the 6-hour. A lot of retracement. Sure, you got some buying going on here, but like I said, you know, you can look here at the 5-minute and the 1 hour. You know, we just saw a buy come in there. So, I mean, that would go ahead and meet my 5-minute window. This one right here, I was concerned about because, again, you're not even at 1%, you know, here in the 5-minute, but now it jumps to 7. So we'll keep that one open. And let's see, I wanted to make sure, okay, they do have a telegram. This one, you know, Solana Pay. So minus 20% on the 1 hour, minus 12% on the 5-minute. We're still getting buys coming in. Let's go and let's take a look at this one too. So we got six tokens open, you know, that we can go ahead and take a look at. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into the channels now and see what's going on. As long as everything checks out in the channels, then we can go and we can start setting some alerts, you know. So, all right, so we get a portal here. Okay, and let's go ahead and let's see what we got going on. Just over 550 members in the group. We got evidence of rating, you know, so we're getting some community engagement, you know, which is positive. All right, and let's see, they got anything going on in terms of trending? All right, I'm not seeing anything up here, you know, in the pin messages. Okay, but they got a lot of pin messages, you know, so still getting some activity since we've been here in the channel. All right, and let's go back out here. Do they have any boosts going on? So they got a boost going on right here. Looks like they're paying for ads. All right, you know, so for this one, sure, we'll go ahead and we'll set a couple of alerts, you know, for Wolf. All right, we're currently sitting at 62K on the market cap, so we're going to go here. And hold on, let me go back out here. I'm going to set an under and an over, just because we're in a bottom area, so I think it always makes sense in the bottom area, depending on how bottomed out it is, to go ahead and set both. So again, market cap, and we're going to say 62. I don't know. Let's put it at 80K. That should be a good indicator, you know, for where this might be going if it can trigger this. All right, so 62K. All right, so there we go. And on the under, all right, so let's go ahead and let's do that. On the under, we're going to go ahead and set this at, you know, 45K. All right, so there we go. And both alerts are set. We're going to leave this alone. So Cult of Farts, let's go ahead and let's check out the channel. We're still, and this is a CTO. We do have evidence of rating. We don't have to go ahead and join the group. I mean, we don't get a portal here, so, and all we're doing is looking around. So we'll continue to go ahead and do that. So we are getting, you know, some activity. Obviously, we just got a buy there, which is positive to see. Anything else going on here? In the pin messages, so showed on 2 Facebook groups, 50K and 35K members. You know, as far as the Facebook group numbers are concerned, whales have been invited. They're using Major Buy Bot, you know, in here. So, but I'm not seeing any evidence of trending. Let's see, there's a boost. They're boost running in ads. Okay, so that's positive as well. So they're doing some things to go ahead and get some exposure, you know, on the token. You know, that's always helpful. You know, that's always positive and helpful to see. You know, when you're talking about a CTO. Okay, so but let's see here. As far as where the chart's at, I think it makes sense to set both alerts. All right, so this is saying 113, 113. So let's see here, 113, and then that's our posted market cap. We're going to go ahead and set this to go over, let's say 130K, so not a big deviation from where we currently are. All right, and then for the under, I'm going to actually set this at 90K. So 90K for that. All right, so there we go. And, you know, for anybody that's kind of wondering, like, how do you, figure out, what your over, what your under is going to be? Again, there are tokens where I'm not seeing enough, or maybe where the chart may be concerning me, where it just makes sense to go ahead and have a larger deviation, from the posted market cap to what I'm trying to trigger in terms of the alert. And there are other times where, let's say that you're at a bottom level and there's already been a bunch of sells. Doesn't really make sense to go ahead and set another, under alert, so you're going to go ahead and set an over alert. And if you want to just see maybe like, 5% or 10% growth, from the posted market cap, then set your deviation, don't set it very high. Because obviously you're trying to get in as early as you can, right? Or you're trying to at least make that determination as early as you can. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're looking at Trumpius Maximus here. We got minus 38, on the 6 hour, minus 2%, on the 5 minute. I think looking at the chart alone, this is more than likely going to retrace further than starting to try to head upwards. But let's go and let's see what's going on the channel. That'll give us some idea in terms of what's going on here. We do get a portal, which is helpful. So how many people are in the group? Just over 360. We do have a VC. I always like seeing the VCs going, but not a lot of participants. It's one thing when you have a VC going and you're seeing like 30 people in that VC. That is a very encouraging, signal to me as far as a token. But you only got a couple people in here. The other things I'm looking for, obviously, is going to be like community engagement, things that they're doing in terms of exposure, just to go ahead and put that in a nutshell. So, all right. And so there's a welcome, obviously, for me coming into the chat. And anything going on here, we're looking for the last buy. Who's the last buy? So I want to see that we have a buy within 10 minutes. So this is at 348. So just within that cutoff, for me. So, all right. And let's see. I don't really see any evidence, of trending, but this right here, this is radar, so this is going to be a raid. So that's always helpful. But when was this? This was at 308. So we're talking, this was almost an hour ago. So I'm not really seeing anything else going on in terms of, moving this rate along and actually completing it. So, because it's saying this is live. But yeah, we're not seeing much activity on the raid. So yeah, I mean, I think more than likely, given that you don't have any trending going on, you got 3 people going on, 4 in the VC, so that's not a very strong VC to me. Nothing else really going on in terms of trying to move the token. You got a small boost here, which is helpful, but like I pointed out yesterday, you got some boosts that'll actually, really be helpful, and you got other boosts, they don't do anything at all, so here, we'll go ahead and we'll set an under alert. We're not going to set an over alert for this one because I think this is going to go down. So here's the market cap, and we're sitting at 98K. Actually, this is saying 101, so we'll post it at 101K, and I'm actually going to go ahead and set this at 70K because I think this is going to go down. That's just my own personal opinion. Oops. Hello. Got to go ahead and it's all right. So here we go. Sometimes I make mistakes when I'm recording. So there we go. So we're at 70. We're going to close this one out. And this one, when we saw it, obviously, as I mentioned before, when you got these, buy candles that are like sitting at their peak, they're not going to go ahead and stay there. They're just not. And I can say that definitively just about every time. So, and that's the exception, where I'm talking about things, where I'm not going to tell you definitively what something's going to do, but I can tell you definitively when you're looking at a buy candle that's at its peak, it's coming down. Now, with that being said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the channel, see what they got going on, and then we'll make a determination as to how we want to proceed. So we got to tap to verify right away. So we'll go right there. That'll take us into the channel. Okay. So just over 90 members here in the channel. They got a VC going, 7 members, still not a very strong VC. But still good to see, that there are people in the community that want to, participate and engage in the VC. So that's still a positive. We do have a ticket here, for soul trending, so that's obviously helpful. This was posted at 351. So that, and right now my clock, it's just shy of 4 o'clock, so that means they're going to be trending, shortly. That should bring in some more buyers and some more exposure, right? So that is helpful. I don't see any evidence, of rating actually. So, okay. But again, you got the VC and you got Sol trending, coming. So here we go. So with that being said, and the funny thing, you would think that when you got trending going on, or even coming, that, people would hold. But for some reason, and I can't figure it out, people know that trending's coming and they will go ahead and they'll still sell, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Okay. And then when you bring in the trending crowd, they're not like they're long-term holders. I mean, they're looking for a quick 2x, so you go ahead and you get the trending crowd coming in, and yeah, they can put some buys on the chart, which may be helpful for anybody that's been holding prior to trending. But like I said, you can see what's going on here. The ticket has been posted in the channel and you have people selling. I've never understood this. So, but either way, that's what's going on. And like I said, you'll get some buys, but as far as like the effect on trending, it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't, because again, I tend to think that trending a lot of times, even though it's good for exposure, tends to bring a lot of short-term buyers into your chart, because you do have people out there that just go ahead and surf, what's trending. That's it. And it's a very short-term mindset that, hey, get in and get out. But with that being said, we're looking at 79 here on the market cap. We're looking at 85 here, 91 actually. So 91 is what we're going to go with in terms of our posted market cap, as we set these alerts. So 91K is our posted market cap there. And we're going to go ahead and set this for 115 for the over. And then for the under, all right, so we're setting this at 91K. For the under, let's go ahead and set this at 70K. Because like I said, it's one thing when you got trending going on, but once trending's over with, I mean, at that point, what else are you doing to go ahead and push it? And they got a small boost going, but 30 for a boost, really isn't going to do a lot of good. But I mean, we've also seen where people have paid, for the 500 boost and it didn't do anything too. So it depends on the token, it depends on the narrative, it depends on a lot of different factors that go into why people decide to buy into a chart. All right, so we're going to go ahead and leave this one alone. Fart stop, this was looking, pretty bottomed. I'm not really seeing, a lot of encouraging activity here in terms of what we're seeing concerning this particular token. So we'll still take a look at the Telegram just to see why this is going on. And this is going to be one of the exceptions because I typically don't mess with any of them that are sitting at like minus 70, on any of these time frames. But let's just go ahead and let's see what we got going on here. We got a portal. And we're not going to go ahead and spend much time here. But like I said, I just wanted to see what's going on. We do have evidence of rating, and there is activity, in regards to the raids. Anytime you see these green blocks, it means that the threshold has been met. So they needed 8 likes. They needed 5 retweets. They needed 6 replies, 56 views. That's just what they got. And they needed 6 bookmarks. So yeah, I mean, there is activity here going on in regards to the raid. But again, rating alone does not get you buys. It just doesn't. So many tokens, they decide to go ahead and do raids, and some of these tokens can still go ahead and just go straight down regardless of how much activity, the community's putting into the raid. So, or how much engagement the community's putting into the raid. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really seeing a whole lot going on here. I'm not seeing buys. And that's 4 o'clock. So let's see. When was the last buy? The last buy was at 359. Okay, so it still meets my 10-minute buy window. All right, but there's nothing else, going on here. I mean, you got small raid going. I don't know if they got a boost going for this one. Let's go ahead and let's see. No boost. So all you have is the raid, and so that does equate to a stale chart, because raids don't really always bring in buys, not consistently, at least not in my personal experience. So you're looking at minus 80 in regards to this. People buy into charts, right? So when people see a chart like this doesn't make somebody feel like, oh my gosh, like I want to get into this. This kind of chart, really just screams your exit liquidity. So if you're buying to this chart, you can guarantee there's going to be multiple sells that will go ahead and follow your buy, unless they're doing something in the channel, and that's usually in the way of exposure to bring in fresh organic buyers. All right, so this is one we're not going to go ahead and mess with. And like I said, to my point, got this person that bought in with $65, and what happened? I mean, and this isn't going to be the only sell. There's going to be more sells that'll follow, because that's just typically how this stuff works. Not guaranteed, but that's just a pattern that I typically see. All right, so we're leaving this alone. And this one, we do have the sell pressure going on. No buying in the last, 5 minutes. It doesn't look like, so I'd have to go ahead and see exactly when was this buy here at $2, but a lot more sell pressure than buy pressure, on this one. So we can take a look at it, but more than likely this is going to be one where I think it's just going to be one we probably are going to avoid. So, and this doesn't even take you into the community. This is actually their trading platform, the trading bot, so yeah, it's a trading platform. So that's also part of the issue here. You can't access the actual Telegram community. You're actually accessing the bot. So there's no engagement from the community. So this is one we're actually going to go ahead and leave alone. And this is the reason why you actually do want to take some time, go into the communities, see what the portal's like, if there's a portal, see what's going on in their Telegram channel, because if there's nothing going on, guess what? Then that is also another part of your analysis and evaluation that tells you something that you can't just see from the chart alone. All right, so let's go ahead and close this one out. Give me a second. So now that we've gone ahead and we've looked at a number of different tokens, today, and we've looked at, 3 different chains. I don't think we came across anything on the base chain today, even though we selected it. What we're going to do, we're going to close out today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, continue to, engage with the series. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to find some stuff some days, and some days we won't. But the whole idea is to continue to utilize this powerful platform called Dexscreener to go ahead and try to uncover those early opportunities so that we can find tokens before they pump. Thanks so much again for watching, and make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to the Telegram channel, Crimson's Calls. Make sure you check out the X channel as well. And if you're not yet a subscriber here on the YouTube channel, because we got a lot of people that go and watch these videos, but they have not yet subscribed, make sure that you go ahead and do that, so that if I do broadcast anything to the community, or if I drop any new videos, you are among the first to know, because you are subscribed and you're getting those alerts. Thanks so much for your time, guys. You guys enjoy the day. Have a nice one.